So my name is Quentin, and I am working at Bear Studio, which is a French company developing some mobiles and web projects. I'm project manager, but I'm a developer, lead developer at the beginning, but now I also do some project management. And before starting, I just want to ask a question, as he did. I will ask my own questions. So, who is developer in the room? Can you just raise your hand, please, if you are a developer? Okay. Was there a developer? Yeah, I know you are a developer, so raise your hands. Okay, so can you keep your hand raised if you already started a side project? So, a side project is just a project you will have apart from your jobs. Okay, so some of you will have side projects. And now can you raise your hand if you feel like you finished your side project? You know that it's in production or it's where you wanted it to be. No hands raised? Okay, well, one. Okay. So this is why I want to talk about, because I know developers and we know developers and we know that we love to test and try some new things. And sometimes you will just try the new best technologies, but when it comes to a side project and you will always try the new technologies, there are new technologies every day. So it means that you will never finish the project. So it's what I want to talk about. So what did I finish? I finished my side project, which is Travel Map. Travel Map, I will just show you quickly. I should be able to find it here. Maybe, yeah. Okay. So this is Travel Map. This is a website where, as a user, you can enter the different places you visited, and you wanted to just put them on a map with some pictures, and maybe you wanted to have more details about the trip, so you can see the pictures, and you can enter the trip and see the different places you visited, the roads you took, the itinerary, along with all the pictures, so you can see, like this, pictures of your trip. So basically, that's it. Sorry, my connection is not that good. Okay, so now Travel Map, it has 9,000 users. It generates 2,500 euros in revenues a year. And there are 107,000 visitors a year. So that's what we'll talk about today. First, I'll talk about the story. So how did I came up with this idea? Then I speak about the strategy and the methodology I used to develop this project. Then the technologies, because there are some developers and we want to know about the technologies. And finally, I'll talk about the growth of the project. Just before starting, I want to do a short disclaimer. It's about how lucky we are as developers. Because most of the time, development, it's a hobby. We love it. So it's more than just a job. We can do it apart from our jobs, and we will be happy about that. And also, we can be the client and the provider, which means that if we have an idea, we can directly start working on it. And this is great. This is not someone will tell you something and you disagree, so you will start to try to understand what you want. You already know what you want. Then you don't need more than just a computer. And this is beautiful because everyone has a computer today. So you're not like an architect who needs a lot of stuff to build some things. So you can do it with almost zero cost, except if you want a server. So you have to rent a server. It's like $5 or $10 a month. So it almost costs zero. So my disclaimer is that if you are not a developer, don't think that it won't be easy for you, and don't think that this talk is useless for you, because it won't be as easy as it is for a developer. But still, I think that there are a lot of advice that you can try to take and apply to your project. Let's start about the story. I really think that I can't speak about Travel Map story without talking about the previous failures. First, I started because my brother and one of my good friends, they asked me if I wanted to develop a website with them. It was a CSGO rewarding website. CSGO is a video game for those who wouldn't know. And yes, they asked me if I wanted to join this project. At that time, I was like in the third year of the 5 years studies. So I didn't know anything about development. Just I did some algorithms and that's it. So this website, it has 70,000 users, which is great. It's a lot. And it learned a lot to us concerning the production issues. So we had to experience like zero downtime deployments. We had to experience technical issues. And we also experienced some things about how to start a project and how to understand. And we made all the possible mistakes. I don't know if you know, but sometimes we say no big start when trying to create new projects. No big start. Sorry. It means that you shouldn't put a big countdown on the website saying, guys, it will open in 10 days, in 1 day, in 1 hour, and let's open this. Because you will have a lot of issues, and there will be a lot of people, and it will be a big failure as a start. So we shouldn't do that, but we didn't know. So we did it, and it failed, obviously. And we had a lot of other issues. So at the end, even with 70,000 users, we had to stop. So when we finished, we started a new project, which was leadinggame.com, which is also about CSGO. It was like a football manager for CSGO. And we had a lot of good feedbacks from users. They were really happy about the website. It was like more than 10,000 users. So it was great. But one more time, we made a lot of mistakes. Like we wanted to have all the possible features before starting. So we made everything. It took like almost 2 years to develop. And at the end, we saw that it was not valuable enough for us to continue. So we stopped working on this in 2018, and I was looking for an idea of something new to develop. So I started Travel Map, and today I think I can say that Travel Map is working. So those pictures for the story behind Travel Map, those pictures, they have been taken during a 15 days road trip in Canada. And I had an issue because I had a lot of them. My family and friends, they didn't know Canada at all. So when I wanted to show them the pictures, they just didn't know where the different places were. And I wanted them to understand where they have been taken and what was my itinerary. So that's why I developed this tool for my personal needs first. Nice transition between the slides. Okay. So let's look at the strategy I used. First, I had to define what I needed at that time. And at that time, I just wanted to share my pictures to my friends and family. It was just like that, no more. So I needed that, and I needed it quickly. Because if I told them that I need 1 year before I can show them my travel pictures, they would just have to say, no, we don't care about your new project. We just want to see your travel pictures. So I need it quickly. So this is why I wanted to go straight to the point. Straight to the point means that I don't need to have a fancy builder to create a trip. I just need to show the trip. You know, I don't need to be able to create it. I'm a developer. I can find a way. But I just need to show the itinerary. Also, I don't need to have like fancy technologies to try a lot of new things and a fancy architecture. I just need what's necessary to start with. And I don't need to have fancy features like nice transitions or very nice things to put that I know a lot of developers would love to implement because it's always fun. So it's what I thought at the beginning. So I'm just showing what I will not do, like transitions like you can do on this video. I won't do this kind of things. And also the Rust thing is kind of a joke because I've got a colleague and I know there are some people like that who love Rust, and I just don't know a word about Rust. I don't know it. So maybe it's great. Maybe it's very optimized. But if I start working with Rust, I will take a lot of time, and it's not according to my needs. So my final choice about the technologies was Next.js first, because, I mean, you just create a file in a folder and it will be a page, and it's using React, which has a big community. So I was really happy about Next.js, and it was very early at that time. I think it was like version 6 or 7. I decided to use JSON and JavaScript objects because I don't need a database. I don't need something reliable to store my trip in Canada that I will show. I just need a JSON file or JavaScript object where everything is hard-coded. Even the image URLs, it will be hard-coded. I will use Mapbox because I can't do like an app project without an app technology. So I had to choose between Mapbox, Google Maps, and so on. So I decided to use Mapbox. And I don't need this kind of architecture. I don't even need a server because, I repeat, what I need is just show this trip to my family and friends. So I will go to see my family, I will plug my computer to the TV, I will share my screen, and that's it. So I don't even need to make it on the server. The advantages of this strategy is that first, it's a really fast time to user. I mean, I just had a few weeks before I could finish this part of the project, and I was able to show them very fast. So that's great, and they were really encouraging because they told me they were they enjoyed the project. I mean, they were really happy to see the pictures and to see where it was, and it was like an enhanced user experience for them. Also, I didn't presume on users' needs because I didn't think forward, maybe someone will need that part, when maybe someone else will need this feature. I just did the strict minimum, and they had to ask if they wanted something else. If my family or friends wanted to improve the project, they could just say it and ask for it. Also, I did the most valuable features first, and this is a very important point because it's a side project, and maybe I don't want to spend more time on this. So next year, when I will travel, if I want to do the same, I just have to replace the JSON, and that's it. I mean, I didn't create a homepage with a builder and so on without having the main feature, which is showing the itinerary. So I'm going to the most valuable features first. And also it's low cost because I didn't pay for anything. I mean, Mapbox has a free tier. There was no server at that time, so it was completely zero cost. So at that time, my friends and family, they are like this. And me, I'm like this, really hyped by the project. So I'm thinking, maybe let's try to do a V1. What about the strategy for the V1? I've got to scope the V1. I've got to think what are the features required. And one more time, I'm thinking about a minimum valuable product. You know, I think that there are two different products. The first one, it was a product just to show to my friends and family, and now it's a new product. It's about the same domain, but it's a new project because now I want any non-technical users to be able to use it. So I will just redefine the scope. Also, it's a good time to reconsider the previous decisions in terms of UX, because maybe I noticed some things that didn't work with the current UX. About the technologies, because I made some decisions and now I have maybe to change because it's not working for the new version. And about the implementation, because maybe I did some things and I have to change about, I don't know, the URLs of the different pages and so on. Also, I will try to do some wireframes and mockups, and it's really important for me because as an architect wouldn't create a building without some plans, I think that as a developers, we can't create a mobile or web application without having some mockups and seeing what we will do. I also had to choose the missing technologies, and here I think we need to see like midterm. I don't want to anticipate a lot of issues I'll have in 10 years, but just to see midterm, like will it continue to work in 2, 3, 4 years? I will prioritize by added value one more time. The most valuable features should come first. I will organize myself like a team because it helps to be motivated. And I will deploy, test, and ask people to test it as soon as possible. So, at that time, just a little reminder, I don't need to forget that people may have said they have been interested, but maybe they will never use it. I mean, people can just say, oh, it's great, but in the end, they will never use it. I still don't aim at the perfect product because I just don't know what the perfect product is. I can't guess it for any user. It's still a side project, which means that if I need to be able to stop at any moment because maybe I will find another side project which is better for me, or maybe I won't have time anymore to work on this. So I just want to keep in mind that at any time I want to be able to stop. And I still don't have a business model, which is very important because I'm working, I'm spending some time, but I don't even know if I will be able to earn money with that, which is okay because it's for me. So I'm not doing this for money, but I just have to just prevent doing the best project and just make it convenient for me and a few users. And yes, there is a fifth one. It's don't create a company if it's not necessary. And this is really, really important. It's something I learned with the 2 previous projects because we created a company even before we started to develop the project. So creating a company, at least in France, it implies a lot of things. Like you have to have an accountant, you have to do a lot of paper, and this is really boring. And you don't want that as a developer, or not even as a developer, but you don't want that. So if you can not create a company, just try not to do one. You will be really happy about that. You will earn a lot of time. So let's apply this strategy. About the scope, I decided that in this order, it was important first to be able to create and edit treats. Then I needed to be able to add pictures, like not just simple URLs hard-coded, but to upload pictures. I needed a trips map for a user to be able to see all his treats. I need a simple profile page so that you can tell who you are. And finally, I need a homepage because I still need users to trust this project if I want them to start registering and creating their trips. About the technologies, I decided to add Firebase to the project because it's great to have like the database, the backend, the backend. Okay, the first one's not working anymore. So it's great to have the database, to have the backend with the functions, to have the storage for the pictures. So it's kind of everything in one technology. So it was great, and I was really happy to start using it, even though I didn't know it before. About the implementation, I started to do mockups, but just on the paper, because I was not a UI UX designer, so I really don't know about that. I asked someone to help me, and he just drew a few screens, and it was great because I was able to think how I will do this. I edited the project structure because the first project structure was not adapted enough. There was no more hard-coded JSON. I replaced it with database. I started to upload the images in Firebase storage instead of having hard-coded URLs. And I started to do the hosting of the website on Firebase. And so no server, just Firebase. About the strategy advantages and disadvantages, first, the scope. It's usable by users, so anyone non-technical users can use it. But I just one more time let them ask what they need. So I'm not doing things thinking that maybe they will need something like that. And even with this part, I realized that, for instance, I made it possible to add pictures to the roads between two steps. And after that, I realized that no one was using it. So I should have removed it from the scope because it was not easy to develop. About the technologies with Firebase, it's really focused on UI because I don't spend a lot of time to initialize a backend project and doing a lot of stuff. It's everything is like already made with Firebase, so it's easy to have quick developments. And one big drawback about my implementation on the hosting, it was really not efficient with Firebase hosting and functions because you can have a Next.js project running on a Firebase function. So it's a bit technical. Sorry for non-technical attendance. So you can do this. Okay. You can do this, but there is a function called start. When you call a Firebase function, which is just a piece of code on the cloud, it will take a few hundred milliseconds before it starts the environment and it runs. So it means that whenever a user tries to load a page, then he will see this call start because he will experience a few hundreds milliseconds of delay. And Google with PageSpeed doesn't like it. So I had to change the implementation. So yes, I've got a V1, I've got some friends and a few users using it. So let's try to make it a business as a third step. The strategy for that, first, is to be involved in the domain you're working in. Why am I saying that? Because, I love traveling, and one day I was on a blog. I was on a travel influencer blog, and I saw on the homepage this ugly static map, which was showing all the places she visited. And it was like a lot of markers on a very small map, and it was like really ugly. So at that time, I thought that maybe I could help travel bloggers to embed travel map on their website to have a beautiful map with a customization of their colors and so on. And it will provide them a really easy way to embed the map on their website and also the UI to add a new trip to the map. So it will be really easy. No need for Photoshop, no need for any other tool. Just go on Travel Map and add a new trip. Also, I'm talking about being ambitious because at that time I tried to find the email of this blogger, and I contacted her showing how it could look like with Travel Map instead of her map. And yes, that's what I did, and I didn't even have the feature for that. I mean, Travel Map was existing, you could have your tricks and so on, but there was no feature to embed a map on your website without header, without footer, which is optimized to be embedded on someone else's website, with the customization and so on. And I asked her if she wanted me to replace her map, but the feature didn't even exist. So it's why I say that sometimes you have to try to sell your product before it exists. You try to check just if there are some users that would use it. And if some people say yes, then you can start working on it. So it's what I did. Also, I'm talking about giving before receiving, because when I sent her this mail, I didn't say, hey, do you want me to replace your ugly map for like 10 euros a month? So no, I just said, I will do everything for free. I mean, you won't pay for the service, and you won't pay for me to take some time to take each marker you've got on your current map to put on Travel Map. I will do that for you. I will do everything, and in return, I will just have some visibility with my map on your website. Also, I did it for her, but I did it for another blogger, so there were two like big travel bloggers, and they both accepted. And when they accepted, I didn't start to think that maybe I could earn a lot of money with that, because yes, they said yes, but for free. But I didn't know if there was some users ready to pay for that. So I didn't anticipate issues that I could have with 1 million users or with users who wanted to pay. I didn't started to embed a payment method in the application. I just put like a PayPal link, or I'll just let people come to me by mail saying they want this. And I also made a donation link for them to be able to pay if they wanted, so that they can feel that they can have the service, but I don't spend too much time working on it. So what went well about that is that first, they proposed valuable features. So when I sent this mail to this girl, the blogger, she answered that yes, she wanted to have it, but also she asked if it was possible to be able to click on the markers to redirect to the blog post related to the location. And I didn't think about that first. And they asked me, and I understood that it was like the most valuable feature here, because yes, the blogger is great for them to allow the user to search blog posts from a map to see which location they can read about. So yes, they propose valuable features, and it's great. Also, I didn't take time to develop something useless, because if they answered no, I don't want, then I didn't have spent time working on that feature. The attribution I put on their blog saying that it's been created on Travel Map, it brought different clients and traffic. And finally, I added Stripe only when having enough demands. So it was great. Today, there are 60 websites embedding travel maps on their blog, on their websites. So after that, I'm thinking, maybe let's try to grow the business. So for the existing business, the one already existing with travel map for end users to use and the embedded map feature, I will try to write some blog posts, because yes, I have 2 bloggers embedding maps and it brings some clients, but I don't want to depend on them only. So I will try to write some blog posts and to have like SEO, which is bringing some clients to me. So it's what I did. I did like one blog post saying talking about the different ways to embed a map on your website, from the static image to the travel map usage, and also developing your own map with Mapbox. I made a full article to explain how to develop a map with Mapbox when you are a beginner. So this article is just for non-technical users to be able to try to copy-paste some pieces of code and see that it's too complicated to use Mapbox when you're not a developer, and that maybe you can use Travel Map instead. So just a few blog posts like this, and I will show you after that it worked. Also, I added paid features when some users started to ask if it was possible to have specific usage of Travel Map. Like some of them wanted to be able to highlight the visited countries. So I made this, but since I made this and spent some time and it was a specific usage, I asked it paid, like maybe €2 a month, but still paid. Some of them wanted to add some drone videos, so videos as a cost because it's a lot of storage, so I made it paid also. Being able to take screenshots of the map, and finally to have some route files like GPX files and KML files, because there are some users who are hiking, and when you are hiking, you have really specific paths, so you can have files storing this, so you are able to create roads using these files. And finally, seeing that the 2 countries where people were coming from on Travel Map was France, because I am French, and English, because I translated the website in English, I thought that maybe I could add a new language to see if new people would come on the website. So I decided to translate it in Spanish, using ChatGPT, by the way, and the translation was great. Today I have 51,000 visits a year from Google. I mean, from people searching Travel Map on Google, and not only Travel Map, because For instance, the Mapbox blog post, I wrote, if you type, in France at least, if you type Mapbox map on Mapbox, it's the travel map blog post is the second search, second results appearing. So there is a lot of people coming from the blog post, as we can see here. So the first one, it's a blog post about how to add interactive map, and it brings more than half of the people. Like for a year, it's 30,000 people coming just for this blog post. The second one is the English translation of travel maps, so it's 12,000 users. There is the French, and we can see that there is the Spanish, which comes by the time, which comes to have more and more visits. So now Spain is the third country bringing people to travel map. And finally, we can see the Mapbox blog post. So this was for the existing project, but now I'm thinking that maybe I can try to work on something else. You know, I feel like it's almost finished for this first project. So I just ensured that I didn't have too much work to do on the first project because before I start working on something else. So I thought about a way to innovate. And for that, I just thought about an issue I had when I prepared my 15 days road trip in Canada. You know, I wanted to see which itinerary I wanted to do. So I opened multiple blog posts to read about 15 days road trip in Quebec and Ontario. And I had a big issue at that time, is that I didn't know where it was. When they were talking about the city, I just didn't know where it was located. So I had to check the blog post, then open Google Maps, searching for it, or maybe scroll up to the map at the beginning, then scroll down to the blog post to read what they say about it. So it was a lot of navigation. And I just thought that maybe we could do something like, sorry, I can't read. Okay, maybe we could do something like this. Maybe you could have the blog post on the left, and on the right you could have a map that you could be able to extend with all the stats. And when you scroll down, reading about the different places, then you will see the map that we just moved. And you will be able to understand if it's worth it or not, because you can just check the pictures and see if the place seems worth it for you. So, as you can see, it's what I did. And first, because it was the issue I did that for bloggers. But one day I received a mail from a company which is named Signature Golf. They are organizing some road trips for people playing golf to visit different country clubs in a country. And they asked me if it was possible for me to adapt what I did to have this on a standalone page and to be able for them to show to their customers how it will look like their trips. So we did it, and yes, I worked with them, and we made this page. So now their users, their customers, they will send them this page to show them that this is the itinerary you will do. You can check what you will do on the day one, and it will focus like this. And if you want to read about a step, you can just click, see the pictures, and read about what you will do and what the place is about. So yes, we worked together about that. And it's when I started to think that maybe I should redefine what is the target of this tool. Because, you know, travel bloggers, they don't have a lot of money because blogging is hard. But travel companies, they have a lot of money. And if I can increase their selling rate by 3% with this tool, then I think I can make them use it and make it very popular. So I invested a lot of this on this first client. And one more time, it's an example of how you give before you receive, because this work, it was paid, but I made way more than what they just asked. Like I spent a lot of time to have a perfect example to be able to communicate about it. I wanted to have a nice video to show to the next customers. I wanted to have a blog post saying how we work together to have this result. I wanted to have like their feedbacks on my homepage. So I wanted to have everything for this to be a real nice example and make the business easier in the future. So that's what we did. About the technical aspects, because there are still developers here. So the example you saw with the blog post on the map on the right, I had to make a proof of concept about that because, you know, I was really not sure that I could do this kind of thing. Because in the end, there is a first website showing the blog, and we need that scrolling on the first website will trigger some actions on the second website, which is travel map, in the iframe, and to make the map move. So I didn't know if we could communicate between two websites and just by scrolling. And in the end, I saw that it was possible thanks to the window.postMessage API of any browser that will allow cross-origin communication between two windows. So I was able to do it. Also, to make it as simple as possible for the end users who are like non-technical users, I had to develop a WordPress plugin because most of them are using WordPress to develop their websites. So I wanted them not to have to include some JavaScript library and so on. I wanted them to be able just to have a nice UI saying, this is the trip I want to embed. This is the first step, the second step, and that's it. So finally, because developing a WordPress plugin is a pain, I had to create an SDK, which is a JavaScript SDK, where all the logic resides, and all the logic is in the SDK, and the WordPress plugin is just a UI embedding this SDK to make it easier, because the WordPress plugin is like really mixing PHP, JavaScript, HTML all in one file. So it's really hard to work with. So it's almost the end of this conference. So before I finish, I just want to summarize in a few words. First, I think that, and it's what I said to the PNV students today, you should do some minimum valuable products because you don't know if it will work, you don't know if you will want to continue. So just go with a minimal scope and do it because it will be better for you. Also, you will retrieve users' feedback because you do just the minimum and you will ask them what they want to improve the product. You should do it with passion because you will see some opportunities that you wouldn't have if you start a project just to earn money, because at the beginning, I just didn't do it for money. I did it because I wanted to share my trips. It will create the opportunities, and you can create the opportunities sometimes just by getting to people, starting to talk with them, talk about your projects. And I know that with entrepreneurship, there is still something which is that people sometimes they don't want to speak about their project, they don't want to talk about it because they are afraid that someone is stealing the projects from them. But I think it doesn't exist because to create the project you need a lot of energy. So it's your project, you will do it. So talk about it. Also, give before you receive. I won't repeat why. I think you understood. Write some blog posts because it's not only like a myth. It's real that it will improve the SEO. And don't forget to have fun. And when I say that, I know that maybe you can think, where is the fun here? Because I'm really talking about it in a very practical way. But I have a lot of fun working on this project. First, because I can use it, and now I'm traveling to Asia, and I created the trip on Travel Map for this trip in Asia. And when I'll be done with this trip, I will add the pictures, and I'll be happy because it will keep my memories. Also, I receive different mails from users, and I've got a lot of stories to tell about that. And yes, users are happy about the product. So I think I just had one email of someone really not happy about the product. And it's a long story, but it just said that in a very mean way that the product was just shit. And I started to talk with him, and in the end, we almost became friends because we discussed about it, and he understood that he was not using the right way, or he just did some things bad, and there was a bug, but I fixed it in one day, and so on. So in the end, it was really okay, and a lot of people are happy about it, so I'm happy about it. And finally, I think I have the last point. Yeah, even technically, I have fun because first I learned how to use Mapbox, I learned how to use Firebase. I even have a conference on Firebase today, thanks to that. And finally, when AI start to generative AI start to rise in the development world, I thought that maybe I could improve the product with AI. So I started to use ChatGPT's API to make it faster for users to create their trips. Instead of creating a steps, instead of clicking on the place, finding the place, clicking on the place, adding the name, saving, and doing that a lot of time, you will just type, I went to Da Nang, Hoi An, Ho Chi Minh, press enter, and I will send that to ChatGPT, asking it to send me the coordinates as GPS coordinates as a JSON, and it will create all the trip for you. So even technically, you can have fun with that. So in a few words, what's next? First, I need to keep on maintaining this project because it takes some time. It's been like 5 years now, so I need to upgrade the libraries, and I keep on doing that every time. Maybe I will start to do some physical products because I think it could be great, for example, to once you finish to create a trip, to be asked if you want a poster of this trip. So I think I could try to sell some physical products. Maybe try to integrate to a travel builder, like a big company which is creating the trips for all the travel agencies, because we could just add a link saying that if travel agencies for this trip, they want the itinerary as a link, they can have it. And maybe do LinkedIn ads, because I know that the users I'm targeting for the business is just the people working on the travel agency's website, so it's very accurate. So that's it. Thank you, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Hello, you got a really nice project, and I have like 2 questions about financial, and secondly is about your user community. Firstly, I want to ask about your funds. I think like your project is really potential, but it also costs a lot of money as well. So initially, how you guys got fundraising, or where is the money do you guys get to start this project? Maybe I think like it's a side project, so it's maybe like it's from the money from your org. So but like in the future, if you guys really wanted to fundraising, what are the key part that you can of your project that like can really convince the investor to invest in your project? And secondly, like I know like your user community is really nice. Is there any feedback from user that really impact to your project, and you really want fundraising from your community?
Okay, so thank you for the question. I'm really happy that you asked for it, because you said that it seems to be a really costly project. In fact, I think it cost me €7 a month. So it's really not costly. Because of the free tiers of the different technologies, but also because I worked to find the technologies of replacement that could make me continue working on the project without having to pay a lot. So today, I think that Firebase costs like €2 a month. And there is also the servers, because now I'm hosting it on a server, which is like €5 or €6 a month. and about the map, because what costs the more is the maps. But now for the all the users, like the common users, it's still on Mapbox, and Mapbox offers 50,000 map views a month, so it's still okay. But the day it's not okay anymore, I've got a technology. I found a maps provider which is really cheap compared to the others, because Mapbox and Google Maps, it's a pain. I mean, it's like $5 to $7 for 100,000 map views. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Let's imagine that you have a travel agencies and they have like I don't know 1 million visits, 1 million visits a month. It will be extremely costly. So I found a map provider, which is Stadia Maps, which understood that it was way too expensive, and there is no reason for this to be as expensive. It's just that it's really complicated to generate the ties of the map. So there are just a few actors in this domain, like Google, Mapbox, and Apple, because it needs a lot of resources to do that. So this is why they are like kind of monopoly, and they are asking a lot of money. So I found another one which is way less expensive. So it's not that expensive, and this is why I'm able to work like 100% of my time on Bear Studio and not on that project. So it's the great part of it. And you also asked something else about, I don't remember, sorry.
Well, your customer community, do you want to like you want to explore for discounting, like you want to fundraising from your customer community, or do you want to like leverage that community, like trying to new in your new platform like Instagram, Facebook, wherever, like you want to leverage that? How do you want to leverage that community?
Okay, so just about fundraising, I think I'm not ready yet for that, because I love my job and I don't want to quit my job. So this is why it's still a side project, because I'm not paid for that, just what users are paying. So I think I'm not ready for fundraising, but maybe one day I'll be kind of done with my job, and I will start trying to make it a real project, and having a lot of marketing to start having more and more professional users on the website. So yeah, it's does that answer the full question? Because you asked about leveraging the community, but I didn't really understood that part.
It's okay.
Okay. Maybe we'll have time for one more question, and then we will be able to. And we can, we are here to discuss after, so we can still discuss. You can come to ask us questions. Don't hesitate. So yeah, you have questions. So I saw some other people, and you already asked 2 questions before. So yes.
I think it's not working.
Yeah. Can you just turn it on?
Okay. So I'm just curious, like, how long did it take for you to build and deploy the products? Then how long did it take for you to get the very first customer and to get with the real customer? And the third question is like, there's many similar products like yours, like for example, OS products, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I use this once, but yeah, after a while, just like remove it. So, what do you think about the other competitors you want to?
Yeah. Okay. So about the first question. So how long did it take to build and deploy the product? I really think that it's really important to go to production very quickly. So as I said, this product I built it gradually. So I added the first features, then deployed it, and then new features, then deployed, then I added a lot of features. So I think I can't really say how long, but I know that after maybe 6 months, there was already even probably less than 6 months, there was already a website in production with enough features to use. So for that part, and then you asked about sorry.
Customer.
Sorry.
The very first customer.
Yeah, the first customers, I think they arrived after I put the map on the blog post I just talked about. So maybe it was more than 1 year on. Yes, I think 1 year, maybe 1 year and a half. I don't really know, but I'm not working very intensively on the project because I do a lot of things apart. Like it's not my whole life. I'm doing sport, I'm doing parties and so on. So yes, and the third question was about. Oh, sorry, I forgot. What bad memory. Oh yeah, sorry, the competitors. Yeah, there are some competitors, but I think that no one is doing exactly the same. Now I think that Polar Step and the first features of Travel Map, they are kind of the same, and I think that Polar Step is better on one part. First on marketing, because they do a lot of marketing. I'm seeing ads on Instagram every time for Polar Step. But also they are tracking you with your device and so on, and I don't have the energy to make a mobile ad. So they are best on that part, but they don't have the part that is for me really the most valuable part in a business way. I mean in a business with a business look. The most valuable part is the part where travel companies can help their users to understand what their trip will look like, and this is what can be sold. So then at the moment, no one have this kind of things. I saw that there was some travel agencies that try to make it, and sometimes they made it like better than me. I saw that and I'm like, whoa, it's so great. How can I do that? But they are just isolated. So, and it's not because there are competitors that you can't do something. So most of them are better, but I think that I try to focus on the good features.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that everyone's hungry and thirsty now. So maybe we can go to eat and drink something. So one more time, I just want to thank you everyone here for being there. I live in France and I had to organize this event from far away. So thank you very much from people from Smart Devs who helped me, put me in relation with Ace who helped me organize. And thank you everyone I met here that said to come here, like PNV students, DDG guys and so on. So thank you everyone for being there, and I hope that you enjoyed this first meetup in Danang.